This episode of the Odd Dad Out podcast is brought to you by my father-in-law. Thanks for the mics, Dad, and thanks for not shooting me.
Hey, Dad, it's time for your show.
Beginning Odd Dad Out podcast in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, and welcome to the Odd Dad Out podcast, where normal is not my specialty. This week we are crossing over. Joining me from the new Mom and Dad Cuss a Little podcast is my wife, Rihanna.
Hello, the ever in demand, at least within a, 1,400 foot area in this house.
Tonight we are going to be sharing the spotlight and the fame as we launch our new actual parenting show.
I'm Minute and Bitta.
Yes, dear.
Mommy doesn't share.
No, that's true. Just ask the boys. Mom doesn't share. So why am I on the other show then?
Good question.
It's just going to be Mom cusses a lot. But no. Tonight we're sharing the spotlight because we are launching our show to my show followers and listeners. Although with the number of, if you do the math for the percentage of episodes you've been on, it's fair that you've got a good hand in the show too.
So in the divorce, I get 3/4 of your fans?
I don't know. I honestly think that, with an actual parenting show versus the rambling shit that I do here, I think this other show is probably going to end up more popular. I'm just saying, parenting shows are pretty popular.
They are. Yeah. But they're all how to be a better parent in 10 days, or how to be patient with your angst-ridden teenagers.
Yeah.
Kill me.
We're not that shit.
No.
There's a reason this show is called Mom and Dad Cuss a Little.
Yes.
Because you can't actually put profanity in an iTunes title. That's why.
Yeah, we couldn't put, Mom and Dad say fuck a lot.
Yeah. That would be a great title for a show. But, babbling aside,
but that is the pretense for the show.
That's the pretense for the show. It is going to be a much more traditional parenting show in separate from this show, from the Odd Dad Out podcast side, where it's very much, dad's side of the conversation, ranting about dad shit and, and telling stories about dad shit. And my side of things, we get to have your side of things and some of your fun stories, but more of the full parental,
unit.
The whole parental unit in our slightly off from normal family life.
Slightly more than off, but yes.
We get to share the fun stories of our weird children, and I think the fun of us bickering is probably like other shows with parents and co-hosts and things like that.
They're so nice to each other. Oh, you're just so right. Shut up.
Yeah. I think it's honestly, for me, it's just fun to have you here. Either way. Because, again, and I've said before, I have more fun with the show when there's somebody to talk to.
You mean the voices in your head aren't enough?
They don't come through the mic.
Oh, true.
And whenever I do let them out, you yell at me. Stop talking like that. Why are you using that voice? Like that.
Like that?
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
That's you. That's what you sound like.
Rude. Whatever. Jerk.
You married me.
Yeah. Yeah, almost 7 years ago.
And when this comes out, this will actually be 7 years. It's coming up. Because, again, happy St. Patrick's Day. And that's relevant because, this is coming up right before, because I'm going to stick with my Wednesday release here. So it's coming out on the 16th, whereas the next day would be 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day.
Good job. You know how to count.
Better than you.
Shut up.
Math is not her strong point.
It is, just not when I'm at home.
Yes, you work for a banking institution, doing calculations all day. I think I was going to stumble over that. You do calculations all day, and you can't get our anniversary right.
That was one time.
It was our first anniversary.
Like I said, it was one time.
Because it doesn't happen anymore because every year I give you shit about it.
Yes, you do.
Yes, I do.
You're like a girl. Drop it.
I remembered.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I do too. It's on St. Patrick's Day.
Which you forgot.
One fucking time. I'd kick you.
That's why I'm on this side of the table.
Yeah. It's a damn good thing.
So, because it's St. Patrick's Day and it is our anniversary, I kind of wanted to share how we got where we are.
Oh boy.
You see, when two people fall in love, and it's the birds, this is how we got here. You know, your mom and dad got together, and my mom and dad.
Can we not talk about my mom and dad getting together? Ew. And can we really not talk about your mom and dad getting together?
Yeah, there's like a 10-year difference between my parents and your parents. How old is your dad now?
I don't know. He was born in what? 59. Hang on.
59.
79, 89, 99, 2009.
That's right. She is literally counting on her fingers right now. I'm not
kidding. I've got a calculator.
Yeah. Yes, counting on her fingers until she's like, fuck it, where's my phone?
57.
57. Now, my mom will be turning 60 this year. My dad, my dad just turned 65 in November.
Gosh.
Yes, my parents are old. They're fucking old. But, and it feels really bad because youngest brother is, he's gonna be 19.
Your youngest brother.
My youngest brother. Yes. Because we're talking about my parents being old. My dad is 63. My mom, we gotta dig in. My stepmom is 43. Dad's not 63. What am I saying? Dad's 65.
I don't know how old your parents are.
I'm randomly throwing out numbers. Dad is 65. My stepmom is 45. And it sounds really bad. If they were like 20 years younger, this would sound a lot worse. But it doesn't sound so bad when she's 45. But
oh, please. Age is just a number, said the woman who's married to the ancient one.
I'm not that ancient. And there is less difference between us than there are between my parents.
But you're still old.
I'm 4 years older than you.
Ew.
Which goes back to she doesn't know math because she thinks she's only 25.
I am.
Right. 25 plus 4 equals 31. Got it.
I am not 31. How dare you?
I'm 31.
Oh.
I live with this, ladies and gentlemen. I married this 7 years ago. I've put up with this terrible math for 7 years.
I'm not bad at math. I'm not. Leave me alone.
But as I was saying, I think, and I've mentioned before, like my youngest brother he's going to be 19 in May. With Dad being 65, that's like, holy fuck. But then I remember, my oldest sister is, crap, how old is she? She's going to be 37 this year. Eee. She's old.
You know she listens to this show, right?
I know.
She's going to kick you.
I know. She's going to be on the show coming up.
I know.
She's going to kick me then too.
Uh-huh. I'm going to have to come downstairs and stop you two from fighting.
I think we're going to record at her house.
Oh, okay. Then fight all you want.
Yeah, in this setup, it might work to actually have her here because it's not as noisy in here.
Potentially.
Because We've kind of worked out the kinks in the recording together is noisy as shit part.
Kinky.
Oh,
he said kinks. Sorry.
Yeah, pervert.
I am not. I am.
Yeah, you are. My wife is a pervert, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. There could, I guess, I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, because I know that my sisters listen, and I know that at least one brother regularly listens. I really can't speak for the rest of them. I don't know if I actually have male and female listeners out there, or either or combinations, or transitional, or whatever. I don't know who's out there.
The entire LGBT community?
That would be awesome. Kill for those kind of numbers.
It's true.
You shouldn't kill for gay people. You shouldn't kill for any people.
Probably just shouldn't kill.
Yeah, generally.
Wow, there was a lot of, hesitation in that. Jeez.
Good perspective. You shouldn't kill. Killing is bad.
You had to think about it. Yeah, I guess you're right. Jeez. Make me feel real comfortable going to bed tonight.
You fall asleep like a rock. It's not a big deal.
Great. I'm going to be dead in the morning. I hope they find this as evidence.
If anybody's listening, I didn't do it.
I'm going to wake up dead.
You're going to wake up dead. That's a good accomplishment. So, again, back to the story. Were we on a story?
I don't know.
Back to the original somewhat train of thought of it's our 7th anniversary, and I kind of wanted to share because, oddly enough, people ask me this frequently, especially the guys at work always ask me how we met. And I guess because so many of the guys I work with are from Mexico and are almost like arranged marriages. They were their families knew each other and they were almost just kind of preordained to be together. One of the twins actually shares a name with his wife.
Interesting.
They have the, male and female versions of the same name, and I'm not throwing anybody's names from work out there because I know of at least one person, possibly two, who listen, and they know who we're talking about, and that's all that's important. Because as much as I try not to hold back about things, I also don't want to get fired.
Yeah, please don't.
Yeah, that would be good. Especially because recently, come to find out, my boss follows me on Twitter.
Oh, then yes, let's please not get fired.
And it was kind of funny when he I was like, oh look, he joined Twitter and following me on Twitter. We're just like, oh, cool, that's great. And then I start looking at who else he's following on Twitter and realize that it's Dave Ramsey and about 100 other entrepreneurial and I can't believe I got through that one clean. Business.
That's what she said.
Where's the drum roll button?
That was not it. What the hell was that?
That was a gunshot. I need a groan button.
Need applause for that. That was gold.
Applause.
Thank you. Thank you.
No applause. Stop with the applause. No. Okay.
Anyway, so your boss follows you on Twitter, so we're not going to get anybody in trouble.
Yeah, so I'm not going to use any names to get anybody in trouble.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were not an arranged marriage.
We were not an arranged marriage. We were a how the fuck did this happen marriage.
Very much so.
And we've hinted at that before, the we are so much opposites.
Yeah. We really are. So they've asked you how we've met. What have you told them?
I basically tell the story of way back in the day when we lived in Texas and when I was working at Wingstop. Basically, the Cliff Notes version was you were a friend of one of my workers, of one of the employees. You and another friend of yours would come over and hang out waiting for him to get off of work. There was a night he was working late. Me and my roommate were out early, so we were hanging out, just kind of keeping you guys company. And, over time, we had a house, so you guys like started hanging out. Like the whole group started hanging out at our house, which turned into slowly the group hanging out diminished more and more and more until it was just you coming over. And again, more time had passed, and eventually we ended up together. Very Cliff Notes.
Very Cliff Notes, yeah.
That's what I tell the guys at work, which isn't inaccurate.
No.
It's leaving out a lot of detail. But
really is. So, yeah, you're right. There was a guy that my best friend and I were friends with that worked at Wingstop with you. I think said guy had a thing for said best friend, but I kind of had a thing for said guy. And so she would humor me and go and hang out with me at Wingstop and wait for him to get out of work so that we could give him a ride home or just hang out or whatever. And then, yeah, it just happened like one night he was like, hey, my coworkers, they're all roommates and we could just go hang out over at their house. So we did. And that wasn't the first time that I met you. You were right. You had come out into the parking lot and hung out with us.
You guys would come over. Like, there'd be, like, especially, like, Morgan would do, and he did it in our old apartment, too, where he would, like, invite, like, the entire crew over. There was even a night where, like, they did a whole scavenger hunt across the damn city. I was like, we gotta be back at work at 10, damn it. You guys are running around at 4 or 5 in the morning doing a damn scavenger hunt. I'm sleeping. Like, I heard them come in and leave. I was like, fuck, I'm trying to sleep. I gotta open the store tomorrow.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I guess that wasn't the first time that we met. The first time you and I, like, officially met was, like you said, out in the parking lot, when we were waiting for him to get out of work. And one of your other coworkers was already hanging out. My friend and I were sitting on the roof of my car, and he was sitting in the bed of his truck, and we were all just chatting, having a good time.
He's sitting in the bed of my truck.
He's sitting in the bed of your truck, yes. And you came out, and I leaned over to my friend, and I was like, ooh, dibs. So...
Yeah, my clueless ass. See, I'm being nice and friendly and talking to the girls outside and keeping them company because they're taking their sweet ass time inside. And apparently every fucking buddy knew that you had a thing for me from that day. Fucking walking out the damn door, everybody knew. I didn't clue in for almost a year.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you had your own distractions.
Yeah, I had something else going on at the time.
But still. I totally called dibs, and in the process of us, like, hanging out and chatting in the parking lot, at one point, one of my shoes falls off. I was just wearing, like, flip-flops. One of my shoes falls off. You pick it up and smack me with it. And the rest, as they say, is very cheesy history.
Because my story went a lot longer.
I guess, but I mean, there wasn't really much else after that. Like, yeah,
I just heard like the actual introductions and how our relationship started. That was kind of it, because that was like the instant friendship thing. Suddenly it wasn't like you guys are just those girls that hang out with him and come over to the house when it's just kind of social night.
Yeah,
like, I was usually pretty much just in my room through all of that. So you guys would all come over and I was in my room. You guys.
Yeah, I know. It sucked.
But I also was that, but like in that, like, okay, now we are actually, formally introduced. And it's like, I knew you guys by name. I didn't know who was who.
Really?
Yeah.
Ugh.
I was in the back in the kitchen. I just knew the girls are here. Like, I know their names. Oh, it's Rihanna and Mindy. Okay, Rihanna and Mindy are here. Like, that's it. I knew, it's like, oh, okay, they're here for, like, they're here for Andrew. Okay.
Stop giving names.
Yeah. like it fucking matters.
It doesn't, but.
It doesn't matter.
A sense of anonymity.
Anonymity. Like, your name is out there. I'm not giving full names or first names, and how the hell do you know? But, anyway. But yeah, I just knew. It's like, oh, yeah, okay. I didn't know who the hell was who. And I think, honestly, you can kick me now. going home that night, still didn't know who was who.
Jeez.
I had to ask Nate, which one was which?
Which?
Which is which? Sorry.
I don't laugh like a horse. Jeez.
That was a really, really bad witch laugh.
No, you sounded like a horse.
Yeah. Anyway. But, yeah, so it suddenly became, instead of, everybody's over, I'm going to be hiding in my room, you guys, like, I would actually be out there sometimes and socializing.
Yeah, I know. It was great.
And
except for when your distractions were also around. That was less great. Yeah.
Well, that's long gone.
Thank God.
But yeah, and it was mildly funny because it was always, you two were always. It started with all three of you were always together.
Yes, because like I said, I'm pretty sure he had a thing for her, but I had a thing for him, and so she would humor me.
And he was always coming over to our house.
Yes. So she had a thing for your brother.
Who you didn't realize was my brother.
Okay, y'all look nothing alike.
You're the only person in the history of the world who's ever said that.
I'm sorry, I just don't see it.
In high school, people thought we were twins.
Good for them. I don't.
I don't get it. You really need to wear your glasses.
Yeah.
You're supposed to wear glasses. Never does. That's how she ended up marrying me. She doesn't know. Somehow the kids managed to be adorable in spite of me.
They are cute.
But slowly but surely the group started whittling down. Because suddenly he stopped coming over. Well, I think
he got a job. He got a different job.
Did he?
Yeah. I mean, he was still working with you, but he was also working at the other place. And he started hanging out there more and more.
Yeah.
And I started hanging out there less and less. And then I think like end of summer came and my friend went off to college and
you stayed and you were going to town. You were going to school in town, so.
Yeah. And so that was kind of it.
Yeah. And then, so like he stops hanging out, but both of you we're still coming over and hanging out. And then she goes off to school she was in San Antonio with her. Mm-hmm. And she goes off to San Antonio to go to school, which, not a big deal. It's like 2 hours away, but it's more of a I'm home on weekends kind of thing. If she didn't. No, she lived on campus though.
She lived on campus, yeah.
But you still hung around.
Well, because I made friends with your other coworker.
Yeah.
And
he was my roommate.
Yeah, he was your roommate. And so he and I were hanging out like every day.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, just kind of, I don't know, gravitated to your house more often.
Yeah. And he totally had a thing for you too. Which
I was unaware of.
He invited you to move to Las Vegas with him.
Well, I was aware of it at that point, but at first I was unaware.
And I totally was like, and I totally thought you were cute, and I totally liked you and all, and it was cool. Like, I loved hanging out with you and everything, and I really expected you to be there. Like, those nights of the week when we were off, because him and I always had the same nights off. Like, we intentionally scheduled that way. Part of being the boss. But we intentionally scheduled that way just so we're like, okay, 2 out of 3 people are off at the same time, and then Morgan had his night off. But it was always, but I looked forward to those nights when you came over. I was like, hey, we have a friend.
A friend.
A friend. Like, I don't socialize. A friend that's a big list for me. Like, holy fuck, I've got 2 friends. I don't know what to do with 2 friends.
What do you do with them, dude?
I gotta flip a coin. I can only keep one of you.
How often do they need to eat?
Do I have to... What? You can't live on Ritz? What can live on Ritz? I don't know. But I looked forward to the time where you were there. But, I knew that, as you are apparently unbeknownst to me, he had basically kind of called dibs on you. And so I left that alone. I was like, no, that's like, even though I knew you guys weren't formally together, he was into you, he liked you, so I wasn't going to go there. And I still had my distractions lingering around. So I just kind of I wasn't going to pursue you. Like, even though I could walk away from other entanglements, but because I knew that was how he felt, I always associated you guys together.
Well, see, at the time, I never, I wouldn't have been with anybody. And I kind of used it as an excuse. I had a guy that I was really wrapped up in, who was actually in the Army and overseas. And so I kind of always used...
Or the Navy? I thought he was in the Navy.
Army.
Okay, well.
And I kind of always used that as an excuse as to why I could never be in a relationship. Because I had a thing for somebody. And it was at times serious and at times tedious. And then at times completely forgotten.
Yeah. Completely forgotten, I think, is an understatement in this particular case, too. Because once I did realize, after lots of not so subtle, hints,
I really don't even remember,
how
the point we started dating.
Yeah. It was kind of, everything just kind of happened, and suddenly we could just say, yeah, I guess we're officially together.
Yeah.
But I have to back up, because I have to go back to all the vague things, and you were always hanging out with us, and it was a pretty good amount of time where it was just the three of us. You, me, and Nate. It was a pretty good amount of time where it was just the three of us, to where when you moved out of your dad's house, this is how I met her dad. Vaguely. You mentioned you grew up for all intents and purposes, you grew up in the country.
I did.
Yeah. Your dad still lives in a house in the middle of a field.
It's 3.5 acres.
It's in the middle of a field.
It's not.
It takes it's quite a bit to walk to a neighbor's house.
Oy. I wouldn't suggest walking. Take a 4-wheeler.
Yeah, take a 4-wheeler or a truck or something. But yeah, and so when you moved into town, when it was time for you to move out of your dad's house back or into the city to go to school like an adult, move away from the farmhouse. Okay, it's not a farmhouse. Sorry, Dad.
Wow.
But I was basically the only person you knew with a truck to do it.
Yeah, pretty much.
And so,
a truck and a friend.
Yeah. My only introduction to your dad was, me standing on the back of my truck as, the bed is being guided through the door straight into the bed of the truck, and oh, that's my dad back there in the house. That's basically it. This is how I officially met your dad. I don't think he didn't even come outside, I don't think.
No.
He waved at the guys outside helping you move your shit. This is me officially.
Which is actually a huge step of progress for my dad, that he didn't come out and who the hell are these two guys that are taking my daughter?
Yeah. And that was it. That was the only time I ever interacted with your dad until...
Lucky you.
Yeah. Once we started dating, which came on quickly and technically speaking ended quickly.
Yeah, I guess.
I say it ended quickly. Not but
evolved quickly.
Evolved quickly. Because we had been friends for so long, and we always had somewhat of I guess because we always hung out together and always did kind of social dating type stuff.
Yeah,
in the group.
Group dates.
That
weren't really dates.
Yeah. But it was always like, watching movies and pizza and always pizza.
Always pizza. Unless we were going to IHOP, because we did go to IHOP a lot.
It was either, order in Pizza Hut or go to IHOP. That was it.
Yeah.
Do that stuff. But then...
I guess everything really kind of changed, like, at my birthday party.
Yeah, that was it. It was your birthday party because I remember you kept trying to get me back to your room.
Yeah, that was alcohol talking. Well, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, and Nate and I were there, and I think we'd actually gotten called into work, so we actually couldn't stay.
Yeah, no, I know. Which sucked because, I don't know if you knew, but like afterwards, one of my exes showed up, and it got really awkward.
I might have heard, but I don't remember.
Yeah, it was awful. But yeah, I guess that's kind of when you finally figured it out.
Yeah, and I think I was like, I'm pretty sure she's trying to get me to go back there. So like you were being rather subtle, like trying to like, oh, it's really noisy up here. Let's go back, or there was something I wanted to show you, or something. You were kind of being subtle about it, but at the same time, because your roommates were big stoners, there was a wall of weed smoke you had to walk through to get to your room.
Yeah.
And I really didn't want to deal with that, especially since I had to go to work afterwards.
Fair point.
Like, didn't eat anything, didn't drink anything while we were there. It's like, fuck,
probably a good idea.
I gotta work after this.
Because if you would have eaten anything or drank anything, you wouldn't have been able to go to work.
I wouldn't have made it back home to change for work.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially the brownies.
No, the watermelon.
Oh.
The drunken watermelon.
Dear God.
It was like a personal sized watermelon with like a liter of, what was it, vodka? Like a liter of vodka.
It wasn't a personal sized watermelon. It was like a medium size, but they got like the extra large vodka.
It was white.
Yeah.
You bleached the watermelon with
We
vodka.
did. To be fair, though, an influential adult in our life told us how to do that. And they didn't give us specific instructions. But it was good.
College girls. Turning 20, not even turning 21.
No, we were 20. Yeah, that was the year I got my nose pierced. That was that birthday present.
Yep.
Hurt like hell.
Yeah, Nate and I rubbed that shit in.
I couldn't.
I know. Have you ever had a nose piercing? Or any kind of piercing? I don't have any piercing, so I don't know. I just know from tormenting you.
Oh, you don't?
No, I don't.
Never really thought about it, but
Yes. Great big ass tattoo. No piercings. I don't see the point in having any piercings.
You would look weird with
Yeah,
them.
I'd look weird with piercings. Anyway, but yeah, she comes over actually on your birthday, because the party wasn't on your birthday.
No,
but
it was a combined birthday thing.
All your birthdays were like right together.
Yeah, they were all like within a week of each other. So,
but I remember on your birthday, Nate and you coming over, and you have a fresh nose piercing, which was his present to you.
Yes.
And your nose and like your whole face just itching like crazy. And so what did we do? We just keep scratching our noses and rubbing our noses just to rub it in. It was hilarious.
How we're such dicks.
Yeah. And yet you still said yes.
I know.
Yeah. Glutton for punishment.
Okay. That's what we'll go with.
But that our official dating life evolved very quickly because of that, because we'd been friends and had those kind of experiences and knew each other really well and just kind of had a certain chemistry. Yeah.
But I think it really took off like after my birthday.
Yeah.
Because that's, I think, when you finally caught on.
Yeah. Emphasis on finally. I'll admit to that. But yeah, at that point, then it was kind of like I said, but it was possible for me to, well, no, actually, I do remember it was a lot had to do with the issue I had with my other relationship. And
Yeah.
that a major occurrence which caused that to completely, like, that, nuked that whole thing. And
Yeah.
which I felt bad because I'm like, as that imploded and I am realizing how you feel about me, I was like, well, this is, that you were there and you've always been there for all this time. But I
like a year and a half at that point.
But I'd felt really bad trying to, considering starting a relationship with you because it was so close to when everything went downhill. Like, that was, and that was like an issue that I had to work with too when we did start seeing each other, was that, am I just a rebound, or, we had that issue at first, but we had that conversation.
Yeah.
This isn't a rebound thing. It's more of the timing.
It's just how timing worked out.
We're really bad with timing.
Yeah, we really are.
Timing has never been our friend.
No.
Because I think it was probably late September, early October when we officially started dating.
October.
Yeah. And it was around just after Thanksgiving when I proposed.
Yep.
Yeah. And so, and when doing the math, a month and a half of actually dating when I proposed.
But we'd known each other for almost 2 years.
We'd known each other for about 2 years by that point. And I'm trying to remember how I snuck the ring. No.
You gave me a charm for my charm bracelet.
No, now I remember. Further along in the story. So, I proposed and we were engaged, but at that point, because I proposed almost like a, spur of the moment, it just kind of popped up. It wasn't, I did not have this big, Jumbotron proposal laid out.
We were watching TV.
Yeah, we were watching TV. I don't remember whose was my apartment or your.
It was your apartment.
Yeah, we're hanging out, we're watching TV, and I asked you, we were on our tour of announcement.
On our announcement tour
when I had to have my second interaction with your dad.
Yeah.
I have my informal dad, and now I have to actually formally meet your dad.
So here's what most people do when you take a significant other home to meet a parent. Most people give you the rundown. This is what my dad's like. This is what my mom's like. This is what you do when you walk in my house. Make sure you hug my mom. Make sure you take your hat off. Make sure you compliment their cooking, or, say go Raiders or something. Most people prepare said significant other for the interaction. I chose not to.
Yeah, there was no. The warning I was basically good luck.
There really is.
I got on it.
Okay, knowing what you know now, there is no warning for my dad. There really isn't.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's got so many ways that he could go with everything. There is no warning you. I could not possibly have described what this was going to be like.
Yeah. And this is officially, this was just supposed to be you introducing your new boyfriend to your dad.
Yes.
And your stepmom was in on it. She was aware because you have that relationship with her to where she knows everything.
Yep.
So she knew everything going into this dinner.
Yeah. She knew we were engaged. She knew that's what this dinner was for.
Officially, it was introducing me to your family.
Yep.
And then we got the big table and the big round table
Everybody sat down.
And because of your, brother and sister's age and all of that, the positioning of everybody, suddenly I am literally sitting between you and your father.
I love my dad's comment. He was like, "Oh, look how this worked out."
Yeah. And your dad may not be especially tall.
No, he's
not
really
especially
not.
quick.
No.
He's still intimidating as all hell.
Yup.
And he carries a cane, so he doesn't need to be quick. He just has to have the reach to quack him. He's going to quack you.
Quack.
he's got a very intimidating cane at that. But
yes, he does.
But yeah, so night progresses. We have dinner. We chat. I'm nervous as all shit.
And I was trying to put you on the spot, and I guess you never really took it.
I was running like fucking hell from the spot. I'm doing laps
nudging you,
running from that damn spot.
I kept nudging you, like, you need to say something, because Carolyn, my stepmom, kept giving me that look, like, y'all need to tell him. And I was like, I know. Adam, you need to tell him.
I'm not telling him. He doesn't really know me, and at this point, he doesn't know enough to like me. He likes you. You tell him. You give him however he's going to take this news.
So yeah, I told him. And of course, the dad question, well, this is because you want to and not because you have to, right?
Like, you want to get married. Right? You don't have to. It took me a couple of, you want to. You don't have to, right? Like, oh, yes, we want to. We want to. Want to.
Don't have to. Yes.
Like, oh, that's a shame. It's like, I got a perfectly good 110-year-old shotgun itching to be used.
He did say that, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. What made it worse is
that's my
after
dad.
that, the first time we go to the house to just spend time over at your parents' house, he shows me the shotgun.
This is the one I was going to use to kill you.
Hey, I was going to use this gun to murder you if things didn't work out. Hey, we can still hope.
Yeah, right? Hope springs eternal.
You and your things you misheard and missay from your dad is a whole
That one wasn't
show.
from my dad.
Still.
That's how the saying goes. Hope springs eternal, right?
No. It has nothing to do with turtles.
Pretty sure it does.
Okay.
It's in the saying.
That's another show. That's another show right there. But yeah, that was fun. And the problem was but they were like the first people we told.
About the engagement?
Yeah, they were the first ones we told about the engagement.
Yeah.
And just because of timing and I wanted to make sure I told everybody in person that I could.
Well, almost all of your family lived in Arizona.
Yeah. So I had to call mom, I had to call siblings.
Sisters.
I had to call my sisters. I had to I was like, you remember her? She was there at Morgan's wedding, and some of them remembered, some of them didn't. You weren't at his wedding with me, so
I wasn't even there with the person that I knew.
True. Yeah, so I wanted to tell my dad, who lived in San Antonio, I wanted to tell them in person. Well, the next time I could go up there was Christmas.
Which, no, that's not fucking intimidating as hell. Let's take a 2-hour drive to San Antonio on Christmas so that you can meet my dad and my stepmom for the first time ever, and tell them that we're engaged.
They were at Morgan's wedding.
I didn't meet them.
You don't remember meeting anybody that was...
I didn't meet anybody.
You don't remember any interaction with anybody there.
I didn't interact with anybody.
Flashing back, didn't you come over to my apartment after Morgan's wedding?
No, you had a distraction.
No, I didn't.
I couldn't come over because your brothers were staying with you.
That was it. Yeah. Because my apartment was kind of
crash pad
for siblings. Yeah. But,
I wanted to.
Yeah. We were contemplating it, but then it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
But anyway, back at this point in the story. Yeah, so we we were spending Christmas at my dad's. Now, I had actually told Dad on the phone. I had told Dad on the phone because I had to explain why it was you were coming with me for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I was like asking, hey, is it okay if she comes over for Christmas? And he's like, why? Are you getting married? I was like, well, really? But at the very least, I wanted to keep it a surprise for my stepmom.
Yeah.
Because, you know, moms get more excited about those sort of things. So I was like, yeah, this is like, surprise her.
I'm totally not going to be like, who the hell do you think you are? You can't marry my kid. Get the fuck out of here.
Well,
that's going to be me.
Oh, yeah. I was like, she's more of the,
yes, your stepmother very much is like, oh my God. Yeah. I think that's exactly what she did.
She's from the Philippines, but she sounds like she's from, you know,
California.
The Valley. Very much talks like she's from the Valley for a lot of, especially when she gets excited.
She's from there.
Yeah. But, so it was more about surprising her.
Mm-hmm.
But, so we make the announcement there. In the process of this trip, you got sick.
I hate this part of the story.
Yeah. You got sick.
Everywhere.
Really, like, cripplingly can't move.
Violently sick.
Like,
all over their floor.
Yeah.
It was awful.
And to the point where, like, we were supposed to just be there for a day and drive back. And, like, I was supposed to be at work the next day, and I ended up having to call out because we had to stay at the house. We had to stay an extra day because you couldn't move.
No, I couldn't. Anytime I did, it was just running to the bathroom to be sick.
Yeah. And we ended up the entire, like, 2-hour drive back to your apartment back in town. You were laying in the backseat of my truck.
Yeah.
Because you really couldn't move. You couldn't sit up. It was, it sucked. It was not fun. It was basically the most movement I could get was to get you loaded into the truck so we could go home.
Oy.
And everybody starts asking questions.
Yeah, my mom was the least subtle. I call her and tell her, oh my God, I'm so sick. I feel like I'm dying. I think I got hit by a truck. And she says the 3 words that no girl ever wants to hear. Well, are you pregnant?
That's 4 words, but okay. Well, I know in Texas, well doesn't count, so.
Well doesn't count. Anyway, no, she asked, are you pregnant? No. Jeez. I said loftily.
We legitimately thought you'd gotten food poisoning.
No, I thought you had gotten me sick because you had had the flu or something.
I'd been super, super sick for a couple of weeks before, and
you had some sort of plague, and I was taking care of you. And so we just thought that I got that.
Yeah.
For 2 months.
And then the eggnog waffles, we figured, combination of sick and eggnog waffles, you were just bleh.
To this day, I cannot eat waffles.
Yeah. Gives you flashbacks to Charlie.
It really does.
But, long deal of time later.
I finally broke down and was like, fuck, am I pregnant? Took a test and fuck.
Then it turns into everybody questioning because we go from saying, oh, we're getting married to, oh, we're having a baby.
Yeah. Then those awkward conversations came up.
Yeah.
Like, no, this wasn't,
we're not
getting married because of the baby. We're having a baby because we're getting married.
Because, go to the doctor and they start doing the math and checking, and looking at the little wheel and charts and everything. And we essentially figured out that our oldest son, Charlie, was conceived on said announcement celebratory tour.
Yeah.
That, while we were celebrating our engagement was, when he was conceived. Which just makes the timing terrible because we're still mid-announcement tour when symptoms of pregnancy come on.
God.
And I have to face your dad in that shotgun again.
You almost had to face that shotgun, let me tell you. Oh, I almost had to face that shotgun. He didn't talk to me.
Yeah, that was a rough day.
Yeah.
I remember getting that phone call from you because you were just like hysterical, like just terrified of what's Dad gonna say. What's Dad gonna say? Oh my God, Dad's gonna kill me.
Yeah.
And then having to do it, and he didn't talk to you for a while, and because you're so close to your dad, that it was like the idea of your dad not talking to you was
awful.
That was like the worst feeling in the world for you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was bad. It was bad. My stepmom is the most amazing person on the planet ever. She was totally understanding, asked all the right questions, gave all the right advice, and was like, well, you have to tell your dad, right? And I was like, no, you tell him.
You tell Dad.
I don't want to. But, no, I told him, and he didn't say a damn word. He just walked out of the room.
And this is all like, again, timeline here. We started dating in October. This is like end of January. It was like mid to end, late January.
Yeah.
And so then, I think after a bit, your dad starts talking to you again. Things kind of cool down.
Well, it took him. I stayed at his house, for the day, just talking to my stepmom, and he finally came out of his room and, had accepted it, and was okay.
Put on a good impression by this point, so
yeah, and he knows I'm not
reckless.
Well, at the time. Well, he didn't know a whole lot.
Yeah. But anyway. but all things, we end up like and anybody who's ever gone through a wedding knows how women get when it's time for their wedding, and you get into full wedding planner mode.
Yeah.
And suddenly it's binders and binders of bouquets and colors and dress designs and every damn bridal and locations and magazines on top of magazines on top of magazines. And our whole plan, well, up to this point, our whole plan before finding out about pregnancy, the whole plan was we're going to have this big wedding. We're going to have this long engagement. It's like
we're supposed to be engaged for like a year.
Engaged for like a year and a half. And we're going to have this long engagement and save up our money for this big wedding. It's like the venue is going to cost like $5,000, but you had every detail planned out. And then we find out you're pregnant. And then we're like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's save the money, put the money to the baby, and we'll just go down to the courthouse and elope and throw a party at the apartment.
We didn't elope.
Okay. Technically, it's eloping.
We stayed in the same city.
We didn't go to Vegas.
Dear God.
But we did a courthouse wedding. We were like, okay, let's go down to the courthouse and we'll get married at the courthouse. And we'll just have a big party at the apartment.
Yeah.
Because for the most part, even though technically you had your own apartment, for the most part, you were staying with me 90% of the time by that point.
Yeah.
So, granted, my work schedule was a nightmare, but when I was home, you were there with me.
Yes.
And so we end up going that route. And it's like, okay, well, what day can we get picked out? And it just kind of turned into, hey, a really easy day to remember your anniversary. Mm-hmm. It's like, let's pick
one fucking time. Dear God.
Let's get married on St. Patrick's Day. Because I'm half Irish. You claim to be Irish.
Rude.
You're not Irish.
There's Irish somewhere.
Somewhere. Officially, your family name is Scottish.
Yeah.
Yes.
And probably German.
And German, lots of other things. But your family name, coat of arms, it's Scottish. You're not Irish. You're not Irish by name. I'm Irish by name.
Yeah,
I'm Mexican by upbringing. I'm Irish by name.
I'm not Mexican.
Tell that to my mother.
No.
Yeah. You've gotten in trouble with mom before. Never tell a your mom joke when your mom is in the room.
I've done that a couple times.
Yeah. That's another day. That's a story for another show. But yeah, so we go that route. And everything, for the most part, goes off really well. Oddly enough, our parents got along really well.
Very oddly enough, considering that my mom was there when my dad and my stepmom were there.
Yeah, when so like.
Although I did have to tell them both separately, you will be civil or you will leave.
Yeah, the having to warn family like, no, you have to behave.
Yes, play nice.
I just remember them saying, "Hey, we need to get into the apartment to set up some of the food," and them telling me they were going to have my brother break in through one of the windows. I'm like, well, we're just going to shove Mikey through the back window.
I remember that. They did too. They did. They were just
like, what the fuck is Nate? They have a key.
They just picked him up and put him in the window. Oh, poor kid.
That's what he gets for being half Asian. Sorry. It's like the side of the family that makes me and all the rest of my brothers really tall. He didn't get.
We're probably going to have to edit this part out, but how bad was it that the black guy was probably the one that lifted up the Asian kid to put him in your apartment to break it?
Oh, no, that's not racist at all.
Not at all. I'm going to hell.
I'll save you a seat.
Cool. Family size handbasket.
Family size handbasket. Who the fuck's hands are holding this basket? Goddamn. Anyway, but this has gotten us up to our wedding.
Yeah. Oops.
Reliving the whirlwind that was our it is our anniversary. And I don't know why I didn't think about this. And the entire intent of tonight was kind of an anniversary, telling stories, and St. Patrick's Day. And it just occurred to me that we get married on St. Patrick's Day and nobody brought corned beef and cabbage.
Good. Not really a fan. Potato soup and soda bread, on the other hand.
Yeah, potato soup and soda bread. But that's what we should know. We're not. I could make corned beef for. No.
Can we not?
Okay.
I don't like corned beef and cabbage.
I'm not making.
It's not even an Irish dish.
I know it's not an Irish dish.
It's Jewish.
It's Jewish. It's manipulated Jewish.
Irish dish. Irish dish. Irish dish. Sorry.
Guinness and potatoes.
Make Cole Cannon.
Let's stick with Guinness and potatoes. Crack open a Guinness.
I don't drink beer.
Neither do I. Yeah, I'm stuck like this. Sorry. I'll try to stop, but
it's not going to happen.
It's probably not going to happen. You're the one who grew up watching Jackers.
Jakers.
Whatever.
Jackers sounds really bad.
It goes back to I married a pervert.
That sounds really bad.
It comes on after Real Sex on HBO.
Oh my god. I was a good kid, I swear.
Yeah, you were a good kid, sitting there reading books, not climbing trees. You know what kind of shit they put in books? Books are dirty.
Oh, yeah, some of them are.
But, yeah, we had a fun go. A very...
What, is it over?
The whirlwind that was...
Well, it's been a good 7 years.
Good 7 years. Good night, everybody. No.
Take your shit and get out.
Yeah. It's like, you get one half of the table. Yeah. As soon as my van's fixed, you're out. No.
Wow.
No.
Rude.
No.
Hey, at least splitting the animals would be easy. I get Toby.
What the fuck? Okay, you get your cat, I get my cat. Who's getting the dog?
We can rock, paper, scissors for Emmett.
Need a big rock.
I didn't say to throw a rock at Emmett. Fine, I'll keep it. Rude. Poor Emmett.
But, Yeah, that was...
Ooh, dibs on the new couch. Yeah.
Fine, you can have the new couch. The old couch is more comfortable. But...
Whatever.
And if I don't have Emmett, then I don't have to worry about it being covered in hair.
Are we really like splitting up our shit right now? This is not good.
Anyway.
That's not a good sign, y'all.
No, I didn't marry Texan at all.
Hey, I say y'all all the time. Leave me alone.
Now to think about it, it's probably the only time it's snuck in the whole show. So. But it's been fun. It's been fun, like, reliving the start of the very whirlwindy
weird
relationship.
Yeah.
That we've had lots of crazy stuff happen since then, but.
Yeah. Well, and I guess the weirdest part of us being together is that we literally have nothing in common. And we've talked about this before. Like, we have nothing in common other than the people that we hung out with and our sense of humor. Yeah. Like, that's the only reason that we knew each other and that we kept hanging out.
Yeah. Charm goes a long way. So what we have is that you think I'm pretty because you don't wear your glasses.
You're tall. I need tall people in my life.
Oh, thank you. You married me for my height and my DVD collection.
Well,
pretty much.
Yeah.
But then you're cute and I'm charming, so.
I used to be.
There we go. There's a lack of confidence, low self-esteem, and at your height, your self-esteem really can't be that high.
Did you just call me short?
Yes, I called you short.
Rude.
I'm calling you out. You are 4'10".
And a half.
I knew it. I had to leave it out. I knew it. I knew that's where you're going to go. And a half.
How dare you?
If the half counts, you're short. That's the rule.
You're not invited to my birthday party anymore.
I didn't know I was throwing you a birthday party. Good. I wasn't planning on throwing one. But
Toby's my only friend in this house.
No, Bug is your friend.
I can't understand him.
I'm sure in another few months you will. But this has been fun.
Yeah.
For not really knowing what we were doing, which is usually, that's the thing with my show, is that they don't really know what I'm doing. I promise this will be a little more formatted later.
Kind of like our lives. We don't really know what we're doing, but we're doing it.
Yep. That's what makes it interesting.
One very short dating stint, very short engagement, and 4 kids later.
We have a very successful, so far, 7 years of marriage. And, despite our major differences and nothing in common, I still love you.
Gee. I still love you, I guess,
I still love you. I love you more than anything. I don't know what I would do without you, even though we have almost nothing in common.
I love you too.
Mine sounded a lot better, didn't it?
No. Yours sounded made up as shit. And forced. Jeez.
Well, I got called out on the first part.
You were doing better when we were talking about splitting our shit up.
Yeah, but that's where the whole smart-assy sense of humor thing. But I think that's good for tonight.
I need to go to bed.
Yeah, I think you need to go to bed. We're old.
It's 9:30. And even though I've had a cup of coffee, I'm sleepy.
Stop yawning on the show!
I know, I'm sorry. I'm falling asleep on the microphone.
Don't fall asleep on the microphone. It's going to hit you in the head.
Yeah.
Yes, I told you, don't fall asleep on the microphone. Thank you, dear. It's like you've got the good mic and the good mic stand, and you're going to go whack it with your forehead.
Never mind. Stop.
This is already good. This whole show is going to have an explicit tab, so it doesn't really matter. iTunes is going to have a big parental advisory sticker on it. No shit. So
Parental advisory on the parenting show. Awesome.
Damn right. That's what we're going for, then. But I think that's going to be it for tonight. Any last words, dear? Anything you want to share with our future?
I don't share.
Anything you would like to explain further to the people out there in internet land?
Oh, man. I know. I do not care.
Carol. Can you tell we've seen Remember the Titans 100 too many times?
Oh, man. Yeah, just kind of where we want to go with this show.
It's going to be fun like
this. Is just giving you a background story of us.
Yeah, it's like we'll have fun stories for the boys. If it happens, I want to have at least have the boys on a little bit. That'd be
won't be able to understand Bug.
He is not that unintelligent. But fun stories, and I still love the shit that we have to say in this house segment.
Shit I shouldn't have to say in this house.
Have to say in this house.
Oy. Dear God.
But
I had one yesterday. Can I share it with you?
Okay.
We'll just...
This week's shit we shouldn't have to say in this house.
Yeah, shit we shouldn't have to say in this house. Get off your brother and stop biting his butt.
This is what
I shouldn't have to say this. Like, why me?
I think that tops my, no, stay on the moon, dinner's not ready yet.
Yeah, no, I actually had to say that yesterday. Get off your brother and stop biting his butt. Apparently that's a thing. But yeah, those are some of the things that we want to have on this show. The shit I shouldn't have to say in this house. Probably reasons my 4-year-old is throwing a fit because, dear God, everything.
He's 4.
He's 4.
It's a short segment. Answer. He's 4.
But it's don't expect the typical parenting.
You're not learning anything from this show.
You're not learning anything. We're not here to teach you. You might learn something.
You might learn something. You might learn the reality of parenting, not the sugar-coated shit that most people tell you.
Exactly. You are not going to learn how to be a better parent in 10 minutes. You
might become a little more prepared for the crazy bullshit you're going to experience.
Yes. But please don't expect it to be a fluffy parenting show. It's not that at all.
How to organize your play dates in your social calendar.
Oh dear God. Yeah.
Social.
But it's gonna be a fun show.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to be here, but I'm looking forward to doing it. We've been talking about it for a while. I'm looking forward to progressing the show.
I'm looking forward to doing it too. I'm sorry. Sorry.
I know better, but I at least keep that off the mic. You should see her face right now.
What do you keep it off the mic?
So, if you've been able to breathe for a second through the laughter this week, follow Mom and Dad Cuss a little on iTunes and Stitcher and all of your favorite little podcast sources as it becomes available. I'm gonna get it. I'm everywhere where this show is found, and
if you don't know where it's found, find it.
Yes, and subscribe and review and share and And we got to get you your own email. I think we have to actually get a real website at this point. But
Okay.
we'll get there. But yes, this has been Mom and Dad Cuss a little on the Odd Dad Out podcast. I'm Adam Higgins.
I'm Rihanna. Same last name.
Same last name. Thank you and good night.